Hey guys, how's it going? I'm having a wonderful week like always. Well, today I'm starting a brand new discography journey. This discography journey has been long overdue, and yes, I will finally be listening to Katy Perry's entire discography. Born Catherine Hudson, Katy Perry is an American singer, songwriter, and television judge. I'm sure I don't need to tell you that. After singing in church during her childhood, she pursued a career in gospel music as a teenager. Now, Katy Perry did grow up in a conservative household and was raised by pastor parents. And she spent most of her childhood listening to gospel music because secular music was not permitted. Now, Katy Hudson did adopt the stage name Katy Perry, using her mother's maiden name, which is something I didn't know. I always thought One of the Boys was her debut studio album, but it actually isn't. She released Katy Hudson in 2001, and it is a Christian rock album. However, before the album's release, Red Hill Records went bankrupt, preventing the label from marketing and promoting the album, which only sold 200 copies. Maybe at the end of this discography journey, I will check out her debut studio album, Katy Hudson. I didn't check to see if it's on YouTube or not, but if it is, I'll check it out for you guys if you want me to do that. And then in 2007, she did release an EP called You're So Gay. Now, this is the only Katy Perry album I haven't listened to in full. Of course, I've heard quite a few of the songs already, like tracks number 2 and 3 and 4. I Kissed a Girl, Waking Up in Vegas, Thinking of You. Also, track number 6, You're So Gay, and track number 7, Hot and Cold, but all the other tracks are brand new to me. But anyway, enough talking, let's get into the album. There are 13 songs, and we're gonna kick off this video with track number 1, One of the Boys. And that was track number 1, One of the Boys. Definitely much different than the Katy Perry we have today. I am curious to know how old she was when this album was released. Now, it looks like Katy Perry was 23 when One of the Boys dropped. I do like the pop rock production. It was reminding me of Kelly Clarkson, Breakaway, and Avril Lavigne. Even though I do like the production, I'm happy that she transitioned into just regular pop for her upcoming albums. I also found the lyrics to be quite goofy and comedic, and they were a lot of fun to read. I saw a spider, I did scream because I can belch the alphabet. Just a double dog dare me. So she's saying how she's essentially one of the boys. She doesn't do typical female things. She doesn't get scared of spiders. She's a man. She can belch the alphabet and all those gross guy things, I guess. The way you look at me is kind of like a little sister. You high-five your goodbyes, and it leaves me nothing but blisters. So I don't want to be one of the boys. So I guess she was trying to be one of the boys. She was trying to be one of the dudes, but it didn't really work out, and she didn't really like it. So now she's saying, I don't want to be one of the boys. Just give me a chance to prove to you tonight that I just want to be one of the girls. Pretty in pearls and not one of the boys. So I guess because she was trying to fit in with her male friends, they were treating her like a little kid sister. They weren't really taking her seriously. They were just viewing her as one of the boys because of the things she was doing. And then she just got sick of it, and she said, fuck it, I'm gonna start shaving my legs, and I'm going to start, she's going to be their homecoming queen, a pinup poster dream, not one of the boys. I want to be a flower, not a dirty weed. Boys are dirty weeds. I want to smell like roses, not a baseball team. Isn't there that saying that girls don't sweat, they glisten? Boys sweat, but girls don't sweat, they glisten. But anyway, let's move on to track number 2, I Kissed a Girl. And that was track number 2, I Kissed a Girl. And I have so many fond memories listening to this song back in 2008. 2008 was when I graduated from high school. And this song was everywhere on the radio, at my graduation parties, at my safe grad. And I was just obsessed with this song. This song definitely was a little bit of a phenomenon. And this was the general public's first impression of Katy Perry. This was when she blew up. And a lot of people were referring to Katy Perry as the girl who kissed another girl, and I guess she liked it. I remember when I used to listen to this song, I would change the noun. So instead of girl, it would be boy. I kissed a boy and I liked it. 2008 was a very interesting time for me. It was when I left high school, and it was when I was exploring my sexuality. I didn't really know who I was yet, so I could really relate to this song, just experimenting with your sexuality and being curious, I guess. I mean, I have kissed a girl before, but I don't recall liking it that much. I do like to classify myself as a little bit bisexual. I'm not 100% gay. I do get those bisexual tendencies from time to time. What's that scale called? The Kinsey scale? Where do I fall on the Kinsey scale? I'm curious. So it looks like 0 is exclusively heterosexual and a 6 is exclusively homosexual. And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I guess if I was to rate myself on this Kinsey scale, I would be a 5. I will say though, this song is a little bit cliche because she's saying that she is alluding to how she's also drunk. I got so brave, drink in hand. So perhaps she's at this party and she's a little buzzed and she's curious and now she's making out with a girl. So that is a little cliche, but I'm sure it does happen a lot. A lot of people lose their inhibitions and they do things that they typically wouldn't do when they were sober. You're my experimental game, just human nature. It's not what good girls do, not how they should behave. And this song is a lot more interesting to me now because just knowing more about her backstory, growing up with conservative parents and having to listen to gospel music, this definitely is quite controversial. I can also see how this song wouldn't translate very well in this day and age in 2021. Now, of course, I Kissed a Girl was a big smash for Katy Perry, and Katy herself stated that the lyrics are about the magical beauty of a woman. The song sparked controversy for its handling of homosexual themes, but in retrospect has been viewed as the beginning of LGBT awareness in pop music. And that's another thing, like, up until 2008, there weren't a lot of songs that dealt with homosexuality in boys and girls. And for someone like myself, when I was 18, discovering my sexuality, This song was just so impactful to me. It definitely made me feel like it was okay to experience the feelings that I was experiencing at the time, because I did feel shameful at times for feeling the certain things I was feeling at the time. Now, this song was a major smash all over the world. It reached #1 in so many countries. And when I said that this song could be viewed as problematic in today's world in 2021, it's not because the song promotes homosexuality, it's because of its appropriation of the gay lifestyle, existing for the sole purpose of garnering attention, both from Perry's boyfriend and her audience. There are many straight guys out there who are in a relationship with a girl, and they would love nothing more than for their girlfriend to start making out with another girl. So in some situations, it's not necessarily about genuinely exploring with your sexuality. It's more so doing it for, I guess, shock value. It could be viewed as doing it for shock value, but also just doing it to attract the straight male attention. Now, obviously, there are many people, even to this day, very divided when it comes to this topic and the song, with some even suggesting that Katy might be homophobic, especially given her single You're So Gay, which makes I Kissed a Girl seem like a classic example of guys kissing is gross, but girls kissing is hot. And that's another thing. If this was I Kissed a Guy, I Kissed a Boy, and it was a male vocalist singing about guys kissing, this song would have been dragged. A lot of people would have found it gross, and this song just wouldn't be popular at all. And I know I'm kind of going off topic right now, but this is also something I've experienced while watching movies, where there are same-sex people kissing, whether it be girls or boys, and there's definitely a lot more female homosexuality in movies where it's more accepted and prominent, whereas when it's two guys, it's usually more obscured and dark, and there's a lot more jump cuts. I'll even say that there's still something very taboo about seeing two men kiss. When I watch a movie and I see two women kiss, it's like, oh, it's two women kissing. But when I see two men kiss, it's like, oh. And in 2018, when talking about the song, Katy said, "We've really changed conversationally in the past 10 years. We've come a long way. Bisexuality wasn't as talked about back then, or any type of fluidity. If I had to write that song again, I probably would make an edit to it. Lyrically, it has a couple of stereotypes in it. Your mind changes so much in 10 years, and you grow so much. What's true for you can evolve." I feel like I could definitely keep going on and on and on about this song, but I think I'm gonna leave it there. So let's move on to track number 3, Waking Up in Vegas.
Gotta help me out, 'cause you're hungover and I'm broke. Don't be a baby, remember what you told me. Get up and shake the glitter off your clothes. That's what you get for waking up in Vegas. Why are these lights so bright? Why am I wearing your class ring? Shut up and put your money where your mouth is. That's what you get for waking up in Vegas. Information overload, situation lost control. Remember what you told me. Shut up and put your money where your mouth is. That's what you get for waking up in Vegas. Shake, shake, shake the glitter.
And that was track number 3, Waking Up in Vegas. And this is another song that brings back fond memories for me. And I can't relate to this song because I've never been to Vegas. Every time I listen to this song, I think of The Hangover. It is about Katy obviously waking up hungover, and they need a taxi. She lost her fake ID, but you lost the motel key. Spare me your freaking dirty looks now, and don't blame me. Shut up and put your money where your mouth is. That's what you get for waking up in Vegas. Get up and shake the glitter off your clothes now. That's what you get for waking up in Vegas. So she doesn't know what happened last night, dressed up like Elvis. Why am I wearing your class ring? Don't call your mother, so on and so forth. A lot of people have this idea of what Vegas is. The city of sin. Whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. People act reckless, and they do things that they normally wouldn't. They get super drunk, and they do other perhaps illegal things. I don't know. I don't know. Every time I hear this song now, I just think of The Hangover. Now, Waking Up in Vegas was selected as the 4th single from the album. When talking about the song, Katy Perry said, "What inspired the song was a boy I was dating at the time. I was 21. We went to Vegas on a whim and we decided to get fake married. We took all the pictures with the minister with the fake cake in the fake chapel and got a fake marriage certificate." So let's move on to track number 4, Thinking of You.
Comparisons are easily done. You say move on, where do I go? 'Cause when I'm with him, I am thinking of you. Was looking into your eyes. You're like an Indian summer in the middle of a winter. You said there's tons of fish in the water, so the waters I will tag. 'Cause when I'm with him, I am thinking of you. You're the best, and yes, I do regret. Oh, I'm thinking you should know. 'Cause what you would do if looking into your eyes and bust in the door and take me away. Stay.
And that was track number 4, Thinking of You. And I always love this song. Lyrically, it is my favorite song on the album so far. I love the story. Also, every time I listen to this song, I can't help but think of the music video. Thinking of you, what you would do if you were the one who was spending the night. Oh, I wish I was looking into your eyes. He kissed my lips, I taste your mouth. He pulled me in, I was disgusted with myself. 'Cause when I'm with him, I am thinking of you. She can't bring herself to get over this guy, even when she's with another guy. She broke up with her boyfriend, now she's testing the waters because apparently there's so many other fish out there. But every time she kisses this new guy, she's thinking of the guy she once knew. I think you should know, because when I'm with him, I'm thinking of you. What you would do if you were the one who was spending the night. Thinking of You deals with a breakup in which Perry does not want to move on, but has no choice and feels nostalgic of a previous lover while in a relationship with another man. I feel like a lot of us can relate to this song. I also loved Katy's vocals on this track as well, especially towards the end. So let's move on to track number 5, Mannequin.
How do I get closer to you when you keep it all on you? How to get through to you? Oh, 'cause you're not a man, you're just a mannequin. I wish I could just turn you on from the battery and make you talk. Bunch of broken parts, and I can't seem to find your heart. I'm such a fool, I'm such a fool, I'm such a fool. You're not a man, you're just a mannequin. Could you ever be real boy and understand? If the past is the problem, our future could solve them, baby. You'll be a man. You're not a man. Could you ever be a real boy? Understand? You're not a man.
And that was track number 5, Mannequin. And I'm sure you noticed that I just couldn't get into this song. I did find it quite boring, and I really hope this isn't one of those albums where the singles are the best songs and the rest is just lackluster and mediocre. My favorite part of the song is when she says, "You're not a man, you're just a mannequin," which I thought was really clever. This is definitely my least favorite song on the album so far, and To me, there just isn't anything memorable about it, but I do like the lyrics. I really enjoyed the lyrics on this album so far and the stories. I think Katy wrote all of these songs. And other than that, I don't really have much to say about the track, so let's just move on to track number 6, You're So Gay. I will say, I mean, it's perfect timing to be going on my Katy Perry discography journey because it is Pride Month. So I do want to say Happy Pride Month.
I hope you hang yourself with your H&M scarf, looking up, listening to Mozart. Don't eat meat and drive electrical cars. You're so indie rock, it's almost an art. You're so gay and you don't even like boys. So sad, maybe you should buy a Happy Meal. You're so skinny, you should really supersize the deal. Nobody understands you. Out of
MySpace! Ha!
You're so gay and you don't even like boys. Pull them down and there's really nothing there. No, you don't even like boys. You're so gay and you don't even like boys. Penis.
Penis! And that was track number 6, You're So Gay. And I will say this is a very catchy song. It has a catchy hook and melody, but overall, I just think this song is pretty stupid. I hope you hang yourself with your H&M scarf while jerking off listening to Mozart. You bitch and moan about LA, wishing you were in the rain reading Hemingway. You're so gay and you don't even like boys. No, you don't even like. No, you don't even like. Although there's something very mean girlish about this song. It's like, you're so gay, you don't even like boys. It's almost very elementary. Something you'd hear in elementary school on the playground. You're so gay, you don't even like boys. You're so sad, maybe you should buy a Happy Meal. You're so skinny, you should really supersize the deal. It's funny that she brings up MySpace, a bygone era. A bygone era MySpace. I'm so angry because you'd rather MySpace instead. There is something very childish and amateur and immature about this song, and she even says penis at the end of the song. I remember liking this song back in the day when I heard it for the first time. I didn't love it, but I did enjoy listening to it, but now, I don't know if it's because I'm getting older or just the world is different now than it was back in 2008, but I find this song incredibly stupid now. I can't believe I fell in love with someone that wears more makeup than You're So Gay and you don't even like boys. I don't know, she just sounds mean in this song. And just jaded. It almost seems like she's coming across as better than this person. When asked about the song, Katy said it is about a metrosexual boy. It is something that people used to say back in the day. I mean, I remember hearing it all the time when I was in school. That's so gay, or you're so gay, or oh my god, that's so gay. They fuck up in something, like a video game. It's like, oh, that's so gay. I can definitely see a lot of people being extremely offended by this song. It's definitely not a song I would listen to now, being the age that I am and just the world we live in. It doesn't even come across as funny. It just comes across as mean. She is essentially dragging his masculinity, wishing he was in the rain reading Hemingway, alluding to how that's a feminine thing. She also says you don't eat meat and drive electrical cars. Again, alluding to how he's metrosexual, he's not the most masculine. Real men eat meat. You're doing all these things that make you look gay, but you don't even like boys. I mean, this song speaks perfectly to a lot of straight men who are afraid to do anything even slightly considered feminine because of things like this. Even for someone like myself, I get called out occasionally for some of the things I do. Like, I like to take bubble baths, and I like to light a candle here and there. I actually love candles. And at the end of the day, I really don't care because I enjoy doing those things, and those things bring me joy and happiness. So whenever I come across someone who talks like the lyrics in this song, I essentially say, fuck off. Wow, we're definitely digging into some interesting topics in this video. I wasn't expecting to fall down these rabbit holes, but I feel like I have to. Some critics have concluded that the song is homophobic. Other people have said that it's her worst song, and Um, I mean, there are many times where I feel like people overreact to certain songs and the subject matter of some songs, and sometimes I just have to roll my eyes. But I feel like the overreaction to this song is very much warranted. And I'm just gonna stop talking about it. So let's move on to track number 7, Hot and Cold.
You change your mind like a girl changes clothes, and you overthink, always speak critically. 'Cause you're hot and you're cold, you're yes then you're no. You're wrong when it's right, it's black and it's white. You don't really wanna stay, no. You don't really wanna go. We used to be just like twins, so it seemed. Now you're plain boring. You're hot and you're cold, you're yes then you're no. You're in and you're out, you're up and you're down. Someone call the doctor, got a case of love bipolar. You change your mind like a girl changes clothes. Wrong when it's right, it's black and it's white. We fight, we break up, we kiss, we make up.
And that was track number 7, Hot and Cold, which is, of course, another one of the biggest hits from the album. And just like some of the other tracks, like I Kiss a Girl and Wake Up in Vegas, I have fond memories of listening to this song when I was a teenager. But once again, I mean, I don't like her attitude on this album. She just seems to really enjoy bringing down these men and just taking their masculinity down a notch. She does seem to touch on genders quite a bit on this album, even role reversals when it comes to what boys do and what girls do. She even makes fun of men who do typically female things. I don't know, there's just something very mean-spirited, and I don't know if this has to do with some of her upbringing. I don't really know what Katy Perry thought of homosexuality and bisexuality back in 2008. This album doesn't really paint a clear picture of that. One could even say that she's using bisexuality and homosexuality as a gimmick on this album, and she's using it as an accessory, and it's almost like she's making fun of it. And I know I said initially that I like the lyrics on this album, which I still do. I think she's a decent songwriter, at times very quirky and strange and funny, I guess, but also I feel like a lot of her lyrics on this album are just very tone deaf. Now, Hot and Cold was released as the second single from the album. The lyrics address an unstable romantic relationship caused by a partner's mood swings. But anyway, let's move on to track number 8, If You Can Afford Me.
If you want me, the cherry on top. Want me, it takes more than a wink, more than a drink, more than you think. You wanna ride, just name your price. Don't play cheap with your heart. If you can afford me. If you want me, then stop begging. I don't put out for charity. Don't need your dollar bills. I just want something real. Don't make a bet if you can't write the check. From me, from me. If you wanna ride, just name your price. Don't play cheap with your heart.
Well, thank God that's over. Track number 8, If You Can Afford Me. If you want me, it takes more than a wink and more than a drink and more than you think. If you want me, you're gonna have to break the bank tonight, cause some don't have the patience. And then she goes on to say, if you want to ride, just name your price. Don't play cheap with your heart. Blah, blah, blah. So she's essentially a prostitute in the song. I mean, she's saying you can buy me if you can afford me, if you want me, and don't play cheap with your heart. Because I can be bought, but you'll pay the cost if you can afford me. I mean, I'm all for fun lyrics that teeter on the edge of controversy, perhaps. And one has to wonder if, I don't know, maybe because Katy Perry grew up in a conservative household, Maybe this was her way of just kind of rebelling. I just don't see a lot of these songs being positive role models for young girls. Young girls who I imagine was the main demographic for this album. However, I will say I still enjoyed the production of the song, and I like the synths as well. It's just a shame that the lyrics are just really tacky. But anyway, let's move on to track number 9, Lost.
Out of my own again. Group of girls banging on the door. Have you ever been so lost? So sick of this town pulling me down. Can't find the way 'cause the way is gone. Have you ever been so lost? Another night waiting for someone so.
And that was track number 9, Lost. And I actually enjoyed this song. I think it's one of the better non-singles from the album. I really like the melody and her devotion to what she was singing about in the song, and her vocals were really nice as well. Have you ever been so lost? Know the way and still so lost. Another night waiting for someone to take me home. I also like this lyric here. So sick of this town pulling me down. My mother says I should come back home, but can't find the way because the way is gone. So if I pray, am I just sending words into outer space? Have you ever been so lost? I am curious to know what it was like for Catherine to leave her town and go off to Hollywood to become this singer, this superstar, and what her parents thought of that. I would actually listen to this song again. I was pleasantly surprised. So let's move on to track number 10, Self-Inflicted.
Remember when I dove into the crowd? I can't stop, don't care if I lose. I'm going down in flames for you. One more thing I'm addicted to. Young love's like jumping out an airplane, riding a tidal wave. Baby, you are the weapon I choose. These wounds are self-inflicted. One more thing I'm addicted to. I'm going down in flames for you. I can't stop, no, I can't stop.
And that was track number 10, Self-Inflicted. And she does seem to be touching on a lot of sensitive topics on this album. And it looks like she's touching on self-harm in this song. Baby, you are the weapon I choose. These wounds are self-inflicted. I'm going down in flames for you. Oh, you are the weapon I choose. These wounds are self-inflicted. With each scar, there's a map that tells a story. What a souvenir of youth. Love's like jumping out an airplane, riding a tidal wave on an ocean of emotion. So is she hurting herself because of this person? Baby, you are the weapon I choose. These wounds are self-inflicted. Or is the person in the song a metaphor for a blade or whatever she's using as self-harm? This probably wouldn't be a song I would listen to again. I didn't find the song itself to be particularly memorable. It's also not a song I would want to listen to again just because of the subject matter. But anyway, let's move on to track number 11, I'm Still Breathing.
I leave the gas on, walk the alleys in the dark, running all the red lights. Did I get your attention? Say something funny, say something sweet. I'm still breathing. Really lost a grip, best abandon ship. Oh, maybe I was too pale, maybe I was too fat. I swear you didn't care.
And that was track number 11, I'm Still Breathing. And I liked this song. I really liked the melody of the chorus. And, you know what? I would listen to this song again. In the song, she is saying, I leave the gas on, walk the alleys in the dark, sleep with candles burning, I leave the door unlocked. I'm weaving a rope and running all the red lights. Did I get your attention? Because I'm sending all the signs that the clock is ticking and I'll be giving my 2 weeks. So once again, just like track number 10, Self-Inflicted, she's playing around with self-harm or possible suicide. She's giving her 2 weeks and she's doing all these dangerous things like leaving the gas on, and she wants to get this person's attention. I don't know who this person is, if it's a guy she's dating, which it's sad if that's the case because I feel like this is a very overdramatic way of trying to get a guy's attention, putting your life in harm's way. Or maybe she's just trying to get someone's attention. A family member, I don't know. I swear you didn't care because we were in love. So I guess it is about a boy. So I wrote this letter and I shed my last tear. This is a dark album. I wasn't expecting this album to be as macabre as it is. And she is played around with a lot of serious things. And one of the main themes of this album, I'm coming to realize, is getting this person's attention. It looks like she's just doing all these things because she feels like she's being ignored or not being seen. It does seem like she wasn't in the most positive mindset when she wrote to this album. So let's move on to track number 12, Fingerprints.
Voted most likely to end up on the back of a milk box drink. Oh, I'm worth more than an X, more than a toe tag generation full of regrets. Wanna break the mold, wanna break the stereotype. It's my life, and I'm not sitting on the sidelines watching. I'm leaving my fingerprints, I'm leaving my fingerprints representing you and me. Don't you wanna go down in history? I'm worth more than this, so stop writing prescriptions for Ritalin. It's my life, and I'm not sitting on the sidelines watching. I'm leaving my fingerprints. Build your house on the rock. Pass me by. I'm leaving you my legacy. Leaving my fingerprints. I'm leaving my fingerprints.
And that was track number 12, Fingerprints. And this is a very angst album. This song in particular was reminding me of a mix between Fifi Dobson and Pink. This definitely wouldn't be a song I would listen to again. I think it's okay, I guess, but there isn't really anything to write home about. This definitely is a turning point when it comes to the stories and lyrics on the album. Now it looks like she's discovering her worth. I'm more than an ex, more than a toe-tagged generation full of regrets. I won't settle. I can't settle. I want to break the mold. I want to break the stereotype. Fists in the air. I'm not going down without a fight. It's my life. I want you to remember me. I'm leaving my fingerprints. So she's gonna leave her fingerprints behind on this guy, this person, her past life. I think it's the same thing as saying, I'm gonna leave my mark on the world. I'm leaving you my legacy. I gotta make my mark. Okay, I gotta run it hard. I want you to remember me. It's my life. So I do like the lyrics of the song. To me, that was probably the highlight. So let's move on to the final track of the album, track number 13, I Think I'm Ready, which is a bonus track.
I'm used to opening my own doors and splitting the checks. I bought a new dress, you never noticed. I'm getting tired of cleaning up after them. Oh, love, I think I'm ready for it. An unexpected gift said I was pretty. Told myself I don't deserve you, and this is just a phase. Could I get used to? Oh, love, I think I'm ready for it. 'Cause you send me flowers when there's no occasion. Yeah, we talk for hours. You still wanna listen. My mother always told me that you chose one day. I think I'm ready for it. Ready for I think I'm ready.
And that was the final track of the album, track number 13, I Think I'm Ready. And once again, I do like the lyrics and story of the song. I like the turning point of what's happening on this album. She's now saying that she's ready for love. I think I'm ready to be a woman. I think I'm ready to be respected. And she's saying, I want to argue, but there's nothing to say. Oh, love, I think I'm ready for it. I think I'm ready for love. So she definitely does seem to be maturing on this song, and she's growing up. She's becoming a woman, which is what I like. This probably wouldn't be a song I would listen to again, but I liked listening to it for the first time. So that was all 13 tracks of One of the Boys by Katy Perry, and this definitely is a very controversial debut album from a future mega pop star. Like I said already, I wasn't expecting this album to be as dark as it is, especially towards the end. She does touch on a lot of sensitive topics, sexuality and also self-harm, and even men buying her for sex, perhaps. It seems like in the beginning of the album, she was trying to fit in with a particular crowd, with trying to be one of the boys. And it seems like in the beginning of the album, she didn't really have an identity. She didn't really know who she was, and she was just experimenting, hence I Kissed a Girl, and going through these different guys. And by the end, it seems like by the end of the album, she learned a few things, and she's finally maturing and growing up. Some of the lyrics on this album are quite tacky and mean-spirited, like tracks number 6, You're So Gay. I think there was another song, I just can't think of it right now. And like I said already, I do think she's using bisexuality and even homosexuality as an accessory on this album. There's also something quite tone deaf and naive about some of these lyrics as well. But I do want to believe that a lot of it has to do with her just being young and naive and just how she grew up. I also don't like how she's bringing down men on this album and essentially making fun of them and being mean to them for being a little feminine or metrosexual, telling them they're not manly enough, and it's just sad a little bit. I did like the production on the album. It's very pop rock, obviously. It's very angst. But overall, I did think the production on this album was a little flat and it just wasn't very intriguing. It just sounded very basic and ordinary. I think the highlight of the album for me was the lyrics and the story of the album, even though at times the lyrics can be a bit cringe and controversial. I still enjoyed reading them. And I feel like I learned a lot more about Katy Perry, especially during this time in her life in 2008. She did seem a little lost and confused and unsure of her identity, and she just seemed a little bit all over the place. So what are your impressions of the album? What did you think of it? Maybe you love it. Maybe you don't have issues with the lyrics. Maybe you think the controversy surrounding some of these songs is overrated. Maybe you don't care. Tell me why in the comments. In my next Katy Perry video, we will be moving on to her third studio album from 2010 called Teenage Dream. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. You can find me on Instagram, you can find me on Twitter, you can message me, you can say, hey, how are you? And I will see you next time. Take care.